Now we'll hear from 5 members of our campus family who will share with us their brief personal stories about what they do that matters and what makes a difference in the lives of others. Our very first is Gabriella Wong. Gabriella is a senior from Union City, and she is majoring in sociology with an emphasis in law and society. She recently won, as has already been mentioned, a Strauss Public Service Scholarship and will use her scholarship to create a community organization in support of the deaf and hard of hearing community in UC Davis. She also intends to launch a retention and mentorship program for our deaf students and outreach efforts to recruit more deaf and hard of hearing students to UC Davis. Gabriella.
Good morning. I am classified as a CODA, C-O-D-A, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults. Even before I was born, many warned and cautioned my parents about having a child in fear that the child born to deaf parents would have an abnormal upbringing. Ignoring the comments made to them, my parents decided to have a child anyways, confident and having the ability to prove that they had the capability to raise children. Due to the fact that I learned sign language before I even learned how to speak, my parents enrolled me in a private school, believing I would receive more individual attention to combat my speech dysfunction. At this private school, I was not able to understand my kindergarten teacher and never received the guidance or help to break the communication barrier I faced. When I went to this school, I constantly asked for help, but the students and the teachers did not understand what I was saying. And instead, I picked up English, learning it back from my learning English, basically picking it up from my surroundings. I felt excluded and frustrated. I constantly requested help from my teachers, but instead of sympathizing with my disadvantage, all they could do was ask why I didn't understand the material when my peers did. Since it was a student body of only 200 and a teaching staff of 30, it became well known across the school that I was not able to understand and had difficulty learning for speculated reasons such as laziness. I did not understand why these people treated me this way, and I strongly disliked the fact that people were judging me based on the fact that they didn't understand my background. But I realized if people were making these judgments about me because my parents were deaf, how then do people treat other deaf people like my parents and millions of other deaf people? In realizing this, I decided to dedicate my time in understanding the deaf experience. In learning and interacting with the deaf community, I found that many deaf people experience exclusion and frustration due to communication barriers, ignorance, and insensitivity to accommodations. I wanted to solve this problem, but I had no idea where to start. Then, in my junior year, I received information about the Strauss Foundation. And what really stood out to me about this foundation was the fact that to receive funding, students had to propose a community service project in order to get the things done and to get the scholarship. And in addition to that, they had to carry this community service project out their senior year. Enthusiastic, I decided to apply for the scholarship and did some research and found that UC Davis is one of the few universities throughout the nation that provide accommodations for deaf people, such as sign language interpreters. I was so enthusiastic, and the Strauss Foundation rewarded me to be its 2008 scholar and has been a fundamental part of my dream to make the deaf people and to make others like people in the deaf community to see that UC Davis is a place for them and a place where they can achieve their dreams. As we celebrate UC Davis's centennial anniversary, I would like to acknowledge the fact that UC Davis has opened many doors for me and many doors for many other people. UC Davis is a place that has allowed me to find my passion, to achieve my goals, and to reach for my dreams. Just like my parents, who held steadfast to the belief that they had the capability to raise children. I would like to thank my parents and for everybody here today, because I know we all have the ability to do what matters most to us, to hold steadfast to the dream and the belief that you can do whatever you can set yourself out to do, no matter what barriers or obstacles you may face. Thank you.